All right, the Padres, they dropped the opener in LA against the Dodgers in what is the biggest series of the season until we get to next weekend at Betco. I was listening to some sports talk radio earlier today, and there's obviously all the talk about how huge this series is and all that. It's big in the moment, obviously, but then just wait till next weekend, and that's going to be huge. So, look, really, my point with that is like, whatever happens here the rest of this weekend, it's not I don't think it's gonna be the end of the world. Now getting swept, that's a little bit different, but it's not gonna be the end of the world even if they lose this series because they entered this series with a one-game lead. So if they end up losing this series, let's say they win one of these games, then it'll be what, a tie for first place in the NL West? Okay, move on. You know, go take care of business back at home next weekend. And today, losing by 1 run, is it frustrating? Disappointing? Sure. But going into today, if you were expecting the Padres to go dominate the Dodgers, I don't know what to tell you. You thought you had Michael King going into the off day yesterday. Then yesterday, it's announced that he's not going to be starting this game. He's actually going to be going on the IL. Randy Vasquez gets called up, and it's Wandy Peralta as an opener going up against Kershaw, who I know he's not the same guy that he used to be, in his prime, and that's Captain Obvious, but he still had a really good season for like where he's at in his career. And he goes 6 innings and gives up, 1 run, which was the Ramon Laureano solo homer that hit off the left field foul pole. So, going into this, just matchup wise, like you have Wandy as an opener, and then you're going to throw Randy out there. They've got actually a pretty good Kershaw right now going for them. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if you would have told me that they're going to lose 3-2 tonight, you know? So I'm not, super crushed about it. They've got 40 games left in the year, and they're tied for the NL West. They're not. It's not like they were 3 games. Now they're 4 games back. Like that's not what it is. So, not the end of the world. What I will say though, like in terms of what I'm seeing online about some commentary, I saw some people are not happy that Mike Shildt decided to bunt down by 2 runs and um, you know waste an out there, if you will. Um, in that situation there, just to go through that, it was the 7th inning, no, 8th inning, sorry. 8th inning, 2 hit by pitches. Alex Vesia just didn't have it there, brushed a couple guys. And then Freddie Fermin up at the plate, who can do some damage. They decide to sack bunt with him. Now, people don't like that decision from Mike Shildt, is what I'm seeing. I'm going to go the other way, and I'm going to be like, well, guess what? In that situation, it's a 2-run game. You sacrifice your 9 hitter, and I know it's not Maldonado, but still, your 9 hitter to get Tatis up, and then you have Tatis and Arise, at least, because one out in that situation, runners on second and third with Tatis and Arise up at the plate. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that. Maybe some don't like wasting outs there, and you have an argument there because it's not Martin Maldonado that's in that spot right there. If it was Maldonado, then yeah, you're laying the bunt down. But it's not, so I understand that viewpoint. But I was fine with a situation like this where you got 1 out with runners on second and third with Nando up at the plate. I'll take that because what the Padres are betting on there is that someone like Nando or Arise can come through with a base hit and then can drive in those 2 runs and the game's tied. So you'll sacrifice that first out from your 9 hitter so that the top of the order can get a couple of shots to bring those guys in on a hit. Now, it didn't happen. Tatis walked, Arise with the sac fly, then Trinan came in and Manny popped out. But I'm going to give my best guys the opportunity there. That's why they're at the top of the order. Like, they're your best hitters. A couple guys in scoring position, and it didn't work out the way they wanted. Sometimes it's not going to work out the way that they wanted. That's baseball. And if we're really talking about where this game was decided, I mean, we can go back to what inning was that? The 3rd inning, where Manny drops that ball, and I know that He had to leave his feet, but that is definitely a ball that he should have caught, and he'll say that probably post game, and he knows that. And because he drops that ball, that allows the runners to advance. And because let me go exactly through that situation there in that third inning. First and second to start off, then the deflection off Manny's glove. It's bases loaded now with Shohei up at the plate. If Manny makes that catch, then it's first and second with one out. Shohei, let's say he hits the ground ball to second base. If it was first and second there, let's say they don't get the double play still. Same thing. Weren't able to get the double play, but they got the runner at second base. Now you've got runners on first and third with 2 outs. And what happened after that? Mookie popped out. You're out of the inning there if Manny makes that play. If those things, I'm not saying those things would have happened, but I'm just saying with what happened there, you would have been out of the inning anyway. And the Dodgers would not have scored a run there. 2 runs, actually, in that inning. And guess what? You take 2 runs off the board, the Padres win the game 2-1. So I know that late in the game, like there's going to be, because it's recency bias. You're going to remember that. But let's go back to Manny. Let's go back to that. And again, I think he would say that he needs to make that play. So Padres kind of, bit themselves in the butt, whatever that phrase is. Probably just botched it, but whatever that phrase is, you know what I'm saying. And it's still not the end of the world. Both teams identical records now. Michael King gets scratched yesterday. It's not the end of the world that they lose today's game. Now go in tomorrow and on Sunday when you got Darvish and you got Cease. Cease Darvish, I think, is the order. Go win those games. They can do it. Now, Mason Miller was used tonight. Estrada was used tonight. Teoscar Hernandez has done really well against Jeremiah Estrada in his career, so maybe the Padres will try to avoid that next time. But like you have Suarez, you have Adam. There's still guys. Miller would be available tomorrow if needed. You have guys that can go tomorrow, obviously. Morhone didn't pitch, so they're still in a fine spot, and they actually have a starting pitcher going tomorrow instead of Wandy as an opener and then going to Randy Vasquez. So that's what I've got on that. Give your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure it's going to be some Dodger fans that are happy about a win tonight. Have fun with that. It's the biggest series of the season so far, and then let's wait till next weekend, and then wait till the rest of the series, the rest of the season, because those are going to matter, just as much, to be quite honest, because every game is 1 of 162, and it could come down to a couple games, and they got to take those just as seriously as these games.